Hello, hello, happy Sunday. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. I'm Julie Davison, and this is part 1 of our Sunday Stamping series. I'm so happy you are joining me. It is Sunday, January 28th, and we are already halfway through Sale-a-Bration. I can hardly believe that our time is running out to get our favorites. Well, this week, Mom and I are taking a break from Sale-a-Bration, but don't worry, we'll be back to share some more projects next week from the Sale-a-Bration brochure. This time we are headed back to the mini catalog to showcase some of the brand new product that you are absolutely going to love. Let's go ahead and turn the camera around to my desktop so I can show you what we're using. This week we are back in the January through April 2024 Stampin' Up! Mini catalog, and we are showcasing the Lighter Than Air suite. You'll find this on pages 32, 33, and 34 of the catalog. This is such a fun suite for spring. The designer paper is really subtle and beautiful, and we've got this gorgeous hot air balloon stamp set and coordinating die set. But gosh, I just love the accessories. We have some rainbow adhesive back dots and the baker's twine 3-color combo pack. Of course, you can get everything all under one suite number, which is so convenient so that you can earn Sale-a-Bration gifts during January and February. Let's dig in and show you these things in real life. The first thing is the photopolymer hot air balloon stamp set. I've gotten some questions and I'll show you how to stamp these, but these are 2-step stamps, and so you're going to combine the images to make something that's multicolor. So this image and this one create a balloon. Do I have a sample? I don't. I'll show you. They stamp together to create one balloon, and then these 2 stamps create stripes in different colors that will go in the inside here, or you can use this image instead. So we have a large balloon and a small balloon, so there's a basket for each. Some fabulous sentiments that are so punny and perfect. Hang in there, up, up, and away. And just a note to lift you up. We have coordinating dies which die cut those images, as well as some detailed dies. So if you want to just die cut a hot air balloon, you don't necessarily need the stamps. You can just get the dies and create some hot air balloons with that. The additional dies include a banner, some clouds, and a little stitched banner that you can stamp your sentiment on. The designer paper is a 6x6 designer paper. It includes 8 sheets each of 6 different patterns. So this is the size that they come. Such amazing colors in here. We've got some fresh freesia, some bubble bath, some pool party, balmy blue, highland heather, petal pink, oh my gosh, just calypso coral, lemon lolly. Oh, I love lemon lolly. These colors are so great for spring, and really, like, every time I look at them, I just see Easter eggs and Easter. So I think these colors and this paper is so perfect for Easter. If you love the paper, you're going to love the coordinating rainbow adhesive back dots. These come in all these different colors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors, and you're going to get 2 sizes of each one, so large and small for each color. And then we've got this combo pack of twine, which comes in Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, and Balmy Blue. I love twine. It is such an easy embellishment that doesn't add too much bulk. Let me show you some card samples that I have created using this suite already. So here's a card where I use the designer paper in the background and stamped with fresh freesia and bubble bath, and then I use a little dot and some of the twine. Here's one that I actually cased or was inspired by the catalog. A little cut off the front so you can see the designer paper on the inside. Balmy blue and lemon lolly on this card. And then here's one I just created recently, showcasing the designer paper with a couple die cut clouds. And I did a video for this one during 12 Days of Christmas. You might have seen that. It's an easy center step card, and I'll link it up in the video description. If you haven't already seen it, you can check it out there. Are you guys ready for today's project? I am so excited about the card that I'm going to make today. And I'm also really sad because Mom was not able to join me for filming, so you're not going to hear her voice today. I'm going to see Claire this weekend, and so I needed to get my video filmed, and she just wasn't able to join me in the time that I needed to film. So she's going to get a surprise when she sees the card at the same time as all of you. And I'm really excited. I think you're all going to love it so much. We got a lot of pieces. We're going to do a little fun fold today, which was inspired by a card that I received from the Great Big Card Swap. Honestly, I think it was a year or two ago from Alora Weaver, and I've just sort of had this one on my list of things that I wanted to try, and I don't know, today I was just inspired with the hot air balloon bundle and the lighter than air designer paper, and I decided to make this happen. So I know it doesn't look like much with all the pieces, and I promise I'll have all the measurements for this card in the video description. Let me start with the outside. That's this one here. So our card base is fresh freesia, and it's a little bit shorter than normal. So we got 4 1/4 by 10 inches. So it's like a normal card, except I cut an inch off the front. We're going to score at 5 1/2, and so that's what I've got here. So you can see when I fold it, we are just 1 inch short, almost a normal card base. And then for the front, I've just got some designer paper pieces. Well, I guess one designer paper piece. It's 1 1/2 by 4 1/4. A little accent strip of Calypso Coral, that's 1/2 inch by 4 1/4. And then a little piece for the greeting, 7/8 inch by 2 inches. And for the focal point, 3 by 3 balmy blue, layered onto 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 basic white. So many sticky notes. Okay, those are all the pieces. So let's actually start with our stamping first, and we'll assemble the front of the card, because I think even just as it is such a cute card for the front. And then if you don't want to turn it into the fun fold, you can just leave it as is. So we're going to do some stamping. I just have a scrap paper here, and I wanted to show you how these stamps kind of layer together. For our image today, I'm going to be using the Fresh Freesia and Lemon Lolly. And so the base of my hot air balloon is going to be in that Fresh Freesia color. And there is a convenient little gap there. And actually, I want to point out that that little banner that you can die cut with the dies fits perfectly in that gap. So it's a great little place to put your sentiment. But I'm going to stamp this little design. This is sort of the solid design that goes in the middle. And it's sort of hard to see on camera with the yellow, but you can see it's got little, like a swoopy design. But you can also do that, that stripe stamp. So here is the smaller one, and this is the same concept. So I'm just going to show it to you. Oh, that was supposed to be yellow. That's okay. That just means I got yellow on my purple, which is better than getting purple on my yellow. Let's just clean this stamp really quick. Oh, this one. This is going to be the yellow one. Oh. And then this one is going to be the purple one. Okay, let's try this again. So this is our two-step. So we've got, and you can do your stripes in any color that you want. I just had previously inked it up. That's why I was saying it was wrong. But it doesn't have to be wrong, because it can be whatever you want it to be. All right, and then here, I'm just kind of lining up. And when I'm looking through the stamp, I know sometimes there's always like little points to look for. Let me close these before I have another mishap. Little points to look for, and so I'm going to kind of point that out. I did a pretty good job lining it up there. And I would say there's like the little base here, which is going to be the bottom of the balloon. I kind of was looking for those points with the bottom of my yellow and trying to line those up right there at the base. So when I'm looking through the stamp, that's kind of what I was looking for. Also, there are spaces in the stamp that line up with the image there. So you can also kind of look through the space and also line up those that way as well. Now, if you still have something like a Stamparatus, then that's a great, or the Misty, that's a great tool to use for two-step stamps like this, where you can line them up really easy. I usually eyeball it because I'm lazy. That's the truth. I'm lazy. I'm going to do a little basket here in Calypso Coral. It's actually the bigger of the two baskets. And then I am going to Magic of TV die cut them. I also die cut 2 clouds and a little banner from the Calypso Coral cardstock. So we are going to get this card put together. Let's do our sentiments really quick. For the front, I'm going to stamp Wish Big on the lemon lolly piece. This was 7/8 inch by 2. And then for the inside, I was afraid I did it backwards, but no, I think I got it right. For the inside, we're going to do on the banner piece, up, up, and away. Hooray, it's your birthday. And so I'm going to set that aside over there. And I was using basic gray for the sentiments. I wanted something that was dark, but I didn't want to be so harsh and bold as black. So that's why I chose to use the basic gray. Okay, now we're going to do some layering. Oh, I see red in my Stampin' Seal. Hopefully my adhesive will last for this card. I am thinking it's not going to. Let's layer that balmy blue onto the basic white. And then while we have the adhesive, let's see what we can get out of it. I'm going to adhere the other pieces. So the designer paper is going to go all the way to the edge of that front flap. And then the Calypso Coral cardstock, I am doing it right above, not overlapping at all, just nice and flat there so we don't create any extra bulk. This piece is going to go in the center, and we're going to layer some of our images here using Stampin' Dimensionals and a little bit of liquid glue in certain places. Like the basket, I'm going to use a little liquid glue. Actually, I think I'm going to put it right here. Just a tiny little drop on the bottom of the balloon. And then I'm going to add little tiny dots again to put the banner on the front. I noticed when I got all my samples out that I must really like this combination with the Calypso Coral, because on all of my samples I had a Calypso Coral banner. All right, so I've got this across the front. And this whole thing is going to go on the card with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we have our little baby Stampin' Dimensionals, our mini Stampin' Dimensionals, which go perfectly on the little basket for the hot air balloon. Is it too late to move this? Yep, okay. I have 2 clouds. Yep, they're just on top of each other. And one of them is a little bit smaller, and I think it fits perfectly right there underneath the Wish Big. So I'm going to use a little dimensional at the top of that cloud. And then I'm going to use 2 dimensionals in the center there. And yes, okay, I'm looking at my sample to see how we're doing. This one is going to have a little glue, and it's going to go hanging over the edge. I always like to have my images kind of going off the edge a little bit. I think it just sort of adds some movement to the card. So I'm going to do the same thing at the top and just have my balloon go off the edge just a little bit to add some movement to that hot air balloon. Then we're going to add our banner over here with the sentiment, and again hanging off the edge a little bit. We are going to finish this off with some gems, which I think are really going to pull everything together. Oh, there it is. There's the end of, oh my gosh. Okay, well, it doesn't usually unravel like that, but I could tell it was done because I got to the red tape. So this whole thing is going in the trash, and then you're going to use your dispenser. Oh, there's the other hat. And we're going to get a refill. I pretty much add a refill to almost every one of my orders so that I never run out of adhesive. Leave a comment and tell me, which is your favorite adhesive? Do you use the snail adhesive, or do you prefer the liquid glue, or do you use something else? These snap back together so you can reuse that dispenser over and over again with your refills. I'm gonna come back right in here and finish adding this to the card. Oh, I love it already. And I haven't even added the gems. All right, so we've got lots of option with these, the rainbow adhesive back gems. And I want to bring in our fresh Freesia again, which is this top color here. So I'm going to add, oh my gosh, that cloud is crooked. Oh, that's why I don't use liquid glue, because it doesn't come off. And you know how I like to tear apart my cards. And I guess that would be a selling point for the liquid glue, because it doesn't come off. But when you like to reposition, then it can be a little tricky. You can reposition right away, but after it's down, it's down. All right, here is our card front. So cute, right? I just love the way this turned out. And like I said, even if I didn't do anything on the inside, I think I would still love to have a card like this. But we do have a little fun fold going on here. So let's bring in our other piece. The inside part of this fun fold is a thick white card base that is 8.5 by 3 inches, and I scored it at 3 3/4 inches. So it's not quite in half. You'll see that the front is going to be shorter than the back side. And then I have a piece of designer paper that's 2 3/4 by 3 inches, and this is going to fit inside the top flap here. And I have a little 1 3/4 inch circle of designer paper that matches our front, and the banner that I die cut with Lemon Lolly and I stamped on. This is going to go on the inside here. So let's go ahead and glue these pieces down. And then we're going to do the fun fold part. I'm so nervous because whenever I show things like this, I'm always worried that I'm going to mess it up and steer you wrong. But my goal always is to simplify and make these fun fold cards easy. All right, so this is the inside here. Do you notice this? Maybe not, because it's clear. I have a little piece of cello bag. These are, let me grab the bag and show you. The 6 by 8 inch cello bags. I use them a lot to package up samples of designer paper or things like that. Sometimes I keep card pieces together in a card packet with these. So this is what I've cut. You could also use and cut apart a clear envelope. I've cut it down to 2 3/4 inches by 3. And before I put this on, I do want to add a little decorative edge to the bottom of this card, because it's going to stick out from our, it's going to stick out here. And so I want to make it look fancy. So I got our little, our trio corner punch. I can't remember what it's called. And I'm going to punch. I gotta do this right, because the first time I did it, it was backwards on one side. So I've got my rounded corner here, and then I'm going to flip it to do the opposite corner. And it's going to be the same rounded with a divot. Okay, so now I have our matching little corners. Isn't that fun? I just love that it adds just a little something to the card base. If you wanted to, you could punch a hole here. You could add a ribbon, or I think it would be fun to use this Hooray for Surprises stamp set to add the word pull. On Alora's card, she just had a little a little flag note that said pull. So if you feel like you need to add that instruction, there is space to either handwrite it or use a stamp or add a little hole with a ribbon or something that makes it obvious that it's going to be pulled. We are going to use tear and tape to adhere the cello bag to the to our inside card. So this is 2 3/4 by 3 inches. And so if you hold it up, this is 3 inches wide. And so I want it to be, I want the cello bag to go across the width. So if you see it's short, it needs to be turned the other way. So we're going to put a piece of tear and tape right next to the fold on the outside, right next to the folds, okay? And then our cello bag is going to go right on top. Okay, and then, so this is attached here. Then we're gonna put a piece of tear and tape here on the other end. So one tear and tape is underneath the card, and this piece then would be on the opposite side of the cello bag. Okay. Fingers crossed. This is all going to work out. While we've got the tear and tape, I'm going to go ahead and add tear and tape to our card base. We're going to end up closing the top of this card to create kind of like a pocket. And this is going to keep the flapper kind of contained. So this is going to end up being adhered to the card inside, and then we're going to glue the card shut. Okay, so here's where I'm a little nervous. Now, when I made my sample card, I came down all the way, right in the center, all the way to the edge, but I want to bring it up just a little bit. So I'm coming up just like, I don't know, like 1/8 of an inch or so, not quite 1/4 of an inch. And I've taken the tear and tape off of here, so it's sticky, but everything's flat right now. We're going to close the card, and so that sticky is going to stick to the inside of the card. And holding the sides closed, when we pull on this, it should flip that out. Do you see that? So you pull it down, and it's like attached with the cello bag, but then it flips open. Boop. And one thing, I was trying to remember how much on the cello bag that I used. And so I said, I'm going to tear it apart. Don't yell at me. I said 2 3/4, but I think that we can actually do 2.5 inches. And I was looking at my, I should have tried again. We're gonna cut it down to 2.5 inches. Okay, so it is 3 inches this way. Right now it's 2 3/4, and I'm gonna cut it down to 2.5. So I'm gonna take my scissors, and if you do the 2 3/4, it still works. It's just there's extra cello bag that kind of sticks out at the bottom, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit by cutting that cello bag a little bit shorter. So the final measurement on the cello bag piece is 2.5 inches by 3 inches. And we are going to do the same thing we just did. So we're going to have the tear and tape on the edge of the cello bag. Okay. And then we're going to center this a little bit above the edge here. And we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to close the card, and I'm trying to push down where it is. And so it is attached, kind of hanging there. But if you follow those instructions and do it that way, it's really easy, and we'll stay put. So let's test it one more time, and then we're going to glue our sides down. Boop. Okay, there is such a satisfying, like almost a click. I wish I could describe it to you, but if you make this card, you'll feel it's sort of, especially when it goes back in, it kind of has this like, it just pops back into place. Okay, here is our finished card. When you pull down here, oh, the card pops up and opened. And this is where you would write your message. And then a little gentle push pushes it right back in. Let me see if you can hear it. Did you hear it? Boop. All right, well, here is my finished card using the hot air balloon bundle. I am so happy with the way it turned out. And like I said, if you feel like you need it to say pull, or you want to add a ribbon here, a good option is the new Hooray for Surprises, which has the word pull in it. Or you can do ribbon, or just handwrite it there. Such a fun card. Thank you so much again to Alora for her Great Big Card Swap. I am always so inspired by the Great Big Card Swap. You guys send in the most amazing cards, and it's the layout and the colors and the fun folds. I'm always just wanting to try everything. So thank you to Alora. Thank you to all of our swappers who send in amazing cards. And if you haven't been following the Great Big Card Swap, you definitely have to check that out. The video showcases happen on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month. And so we will have another one in just another week or two. But right now it's time to head over to Mom's channel. She's going to have another project to share using the Lighter Than Air Suite. But before we do that, let's go ahead and turn the camera around and I'll show off my project one more time. Here is my finished card using the Lighter Than Air Suite and Hot Air Balloon Bundle. I just love this little fun fold and it's so much easier than I thought it was going to be. I hope that you are inspired by this tutorial and that you'll give it a try using whatever products you have at home. Well, I can't wait to see what Mom has created using the Lighter Than Air Suite, and now it's time to find out. So click on the link right in the middle of the screen or check it out in the video description to head over and see part 2 of Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie over on Susan's channel. I'll see you over there for the live chat at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video and will give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future card making videos. See you next time.